Hey guys, and welcome to Experimental Reality. I'm Josh, and today I am sick, and here with Luke.
I'm always sick, bro.
And Chayan.
That's hot.
And
Or / Will Smith.
we're gonna blow you away with our amazing episode 4, I guess. I'm gonna sound even more nasally than usual.
You sound so sad.
I'm not sad, I'm actually really happy this week.
It's okay. We can all agree this is clearly the low light of our week.
Oof. I don't know. It's definitely the highlight of mine so far. This week's been
You need
a
to-
little
You need
rough.
to do some other stuff with your life, but if this is the best part of your week,
Yeah, I know.
I guess this is the low light of my week because I was at camp all week, which was lit AF.
what's the F stand for?
As fun.
As
Oh,
fun.
okay.
Lit as fun.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yep. This is a family-friendly podcast.
Lit as fire. That's what
Lit
it is.
As fire, yeah.
I did light fires all week, so that was fun. But I was sick, which also sucked. And I also was there with my ex. I don't know what is up with this camp, but every year I go, the other counselor is my ex. So it's only been 2 years now, but
Two different X's, though.
2 different exes though. Yeah. So last year I went. It was my first ex, and now this last time it's been my last ex, and so it's a different ex every year. So I don't know what's gonna happen next year.
You're going to have to get a girlfriend just so you can get another ex.
Just get
Otherwise,
another
the
ex.
camp will be understaffed.
Yeah.
It's just a camp of broken memories.
It's just a camp of broken memories.
Camp broken heart.
I would say this one actually wasn't that bad because we actually had a good breakup, so it's fine. But last year was kind of sucky. But I don't like talking about my personal life that much, so let's not talk about that anymore.
Well, I hate to
So-
break it to you, most of this show is just either A, talking about our personal lives, or B, arguing about things that don't matter, so...
Well, I mean, I guess that aspect of my personal life.
Okay, well, yeah, it has been 2 weeks since we were last in studio.
It has been 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Dang.
2 weeks. So, let's go with a dual segment. How were your weeks? Josh, obviously you went to camp for 1 week. How about the other week?
I don't even remember what happened. That was so long ago. Like,
When your memory's starting to go and you're only, 19?
Yeah,
19.
19.
Oof.
So, yeah.
okay, no, I remember. That wasn't that the week that I was sick? Or no, we recorded. Oh crap! I don't even remember.
We
now.
recorded twice on the week after the whole
remember.
That was the week you were doing
Doritos
something.
incident.
You were doing something at work where you couldn't.
NASA thing.
Well, I was doing my NASA thing. I remember. Oh yeah, I basically just worked all week and then my NASA stuff and hung out with friends.
Not me,
Couple
though.
days.
Not me.
Not
no one hangs
either
out
of
with
you
me.
guys. Well, because
You're not allowed to have other friends besides us.
sorry. Well,
we can
I
clear
mean,
that.
I invite you.
Wasn't
guys.
part
I
of this
invite
contract.
Luke.
You invited me.
I invite Luke, and I don't invite you because we figured this out. Even he literally starts work as soon as I get off, and so we're never
Yeah,
like
that's
awake or like off of work at the same time. We're either like sleeping or working when the other person is awake.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
and then I invite Luke, and then he just blows me off. So
I mean, that sounds like Luke.
Yeah, you
Showing
think
up
I'm-
late, blowing off plans.
Yeah,
So-
no, you got me there. It's fair.
Yeah. But,
Yeah. Me and Josh actually have not seen each other much these past 2 weeks, even though we usually eat lunch together. The week before, Josh wasn't able to
Yeah.
eat with me, except for like Friday. And then this last week, of course, he was at camp, so I only live like 8 minutes away from my work, and I get a full hour for lunch. So I basically just drive home, eat something, say hi to my siblings, drive
Who'd
back
you
to
hit
work.
with your sandwich these past couple weeks? since you
My
haven't seen-
siblings.
Oh,
I drove
okay.
home, then hit them with the sub sandwich.
Just want to make sure that you get that frustration out.
Yeah, but I've got.
it's a
Aren't
club.
you going to be gone against this next
Isn't
week?
it a club sandwich?
Yeah.
Not a
yeah.
sub sandwich because the club sandwich that makes anyway.
Could be a sub club.
It's sub club, a club sub.
Club sandwich is more based on the ingredients, so a sub sandwich is the shape.
Okay,
So-
fair enough.
Anyway, you're gonna be gone again this next week, aren't you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, I
for
thought you
4th of
had
July.
back-to-back camps or something.
No. I'm gone. I don't know. Several weeks from now, we're going to Tennessee, but I'm here for pretty much the rest of the summer.
You're the only 10 I see.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
I'm like a 4.
I'd say 3.
Okay, thanks.
That's being generous. I'd say like 1.5.
Oof, that's a little rough, but those pencil arms really do. Yeah.
Hey, me and Shan are hitting the gym tomorrow, so
As long as he doesn't blow me off again for the 3rd week in a row.
maybe. But yeah, my weeks were fine. This last week was pretty neutral. Not much happened. Though, in my department that I work at work, there are 4 salespeople. Or there were when I got hired. And then one got fired, One went on maternity leave, and then this past week one was on a business trip. So it was just me and one other guy in that room. It was pretty quiet. So, but the week before that, of course, was the big sales conference thing. There's a big party on Thursday night. Everyone got drunk, not me. Everyone else got drunk. There was a hypnotist. I got hypnotized. Of course, Cheyenne and I have been to like 3 hypnotist shows together, and every single time we've both volunteered, and every single time Cheyenne has been picked instead of me.
I think they just think I'll look funnier when I'm hypnotized.
It's possible. Yeah. I have some interesting memories of you getting hypnotized, fighting for toilet paper because you were told it was money, and
I have some interesting memories from like the hypnotist at prom. I don't know. I've told Luke. Should I tell them on the pod?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have this friend. I don't know if I should say his name. We'll call him Melvin.
Melvin?
Yeah, Luke, you know who I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
his
about.
name's actually Nelvin.
Melvin. Anyways, so Melvin, good friend of mine. I introduced him to Luke. Luke's like totally a bro with him. Actually, for a while there, I thought you were gonna like he's like my best friend, and you're like my best friend. For a while, I thought my best friends were gonna steal each other from me. So
he's cool. We should have hung out more.
Yeah, but he now lives far away because he ran away from. I think Luke scared him off or something.
That's true.
I don't know. Anyway, but one thing that the hypnotist did is he did basically all the men he like turned into women, like made them think that they were women and they were in a beauty pageant. And I still remember he asked my friend Melvin, he was like, yo, if you can make a world... Well, first of all, his name was like Nikwisha or something. Like, and then he asked him if he can make the world a better place, what would he do? And he said, I'd make Mardi Gras every day or something like that. We're just like, bro, like, what do you think about... So that was our junior year, though. So our senior year, then, same thing. And then he was asked the question, and he said that he'd make marrying your cousin legal or something like that. So we're like,
that's an oof.
Sweet home Alabama, everyone.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, anyways, Melvin, he's a lit guy. We should have him on the show sometime when he comes out.
But not his cousin. His cousin is not invited.
His cousin. Anyway.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We should get him on the show. We should actually start working on getting some special guests on here. We will do that.
Sometime.
Get on that.
We need to get a better recording schedule.
Perhaps.
It's been kind of weird.
It's been weird, but you know...
Because we've all been busy and stuff.
2 weeks of the past like week and then this upcoming week's just very chaotic.
Yeah.
It's a very chaotic time of year.
Yeah, summer.
Yeah.
During the school year, it should be more regular, so we'll all just block off the time of the week, right? But school is like a much better regular schedule than, right?
Well, yeah,
like
because
work
your time,
is normal.
Your time's all like your time's filled, but like because of the fact that you're just dedicated to school and like you'll be away from home and stuff, you won't have like a whole bunch of family plans and stuff that just kind of either spontaneously come up or have been in the works for a few weeks now or whatever.
There's always plans that are in the works, and then I just don't know about them.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Seems the same way. Like, my parents are like, oh, yeah, we've had this plan for 3 weeks. I'm like, you didn't tell me until, like, 3 minutes ago, though.
Yeah.
And, like, it's tomorrow. So, I'm sorry that I made other plans, too.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to cancel those. I don't know.
I don't know. The kind of how it works is I've scheduled it out, like, Friday nights, I'm home with family, and then Saturdays I'm usually just busy. Like, that's when I plan to do stuff is Saturdays.
See, like, with my flip-flop schedule, most of the time, like, it'll be, like, Friday, I'll get off work, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, everyone in my family is, like, doing this thing. Do you want to come with? And I'm just like, what? It's like, oh, yeah, we've been planning this for, like, 2 weeks now. I'm like, oh.
You're just asleep when they're up.
Yeah, it's such flip-flop. I mean, I go to work pretty much when my dad gets off work, whenever he works. But
yeah, you go to work at like 3. I get off of work at 3 because I work from like 7 to 3. So
it's not really work out very well.
Yeah.
I did not go to that pro wrestling camp that I said I was going to go to because too many of the guys that were going to be there had to reschedule because they were working security at a rodeo or something. It's like, okay. I think they rescheduled for today, but I was already too busy for planning, and they cut it from 6 hours to 3, and I don't particularly want to drive 2.5 hours to go to a 3-hour camp and then drive 2.5 hours back.
2.5 hours?
It's in like this tiny little town.
Oh,
like a tent.
I thought it was in Sioux Falls.
Like a tent.
No, it's not.
Gotcha.
There's literally just a tent and a bar there because that's...
I mean, it's like a big top tent. That's actually what it is. That's where the show takes place.
So there's a big top tent and a bar in this tiny town. That's about it.
That sounds like the first town in our D&D session that I started up.
It was a great town. Yeah, so Yeah, the hypnotist that I went to, we're still on that, I think, somehow.
Yeah.
At least I never finished my sentence. He basically, he got volunteers from the crowd, and I was gonna volunteer, and then like a bunch of people rushed to do it. I was like, okay, whatever, I'm not gonna fight people to be part of it. He's like, well, if you're in the audience and you want to try, go ahead. So I was like, sure. I like followed along with his steps, and he's like, all right, raise your right hand if you're like trying. So I raised my hand. He's like, all right, now if you're actually like hypnotized, your hand is gonna start slowly lowering it on its own. My hand started slowly lowering. I'm like, all right, here we go, I guess. Anyway, he brought me up front, asked me my name. I'm like, I'm Luke. And I'm like, I don't think I was hypnotized because I did it on purpose. I have never been hypnotized before, so I didn't know that's what it feels like. It's like, cool. Long story short, he put me to sleep on the floor, just in the middle of the room, and then left me there for the whole show.
All right.
Nice. But you felt fantastic.
I felt great.
Yeah.
There were like flies crawling on my face, and I just didn't like twitch to get rid of them. Like you just don't.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay. Can't move.
See, being hypnotized is such a weird sensation because like in the moment it's like it's weird because he tells you like something to do and you're like mentally aware. You're like, yeah, okay, like I'll go along with this. But like it's not like necessarily your decision, but at the same time it is. And then when you wake up, I mean, like there can be stuff like you don't remember or like, but most of the time like you'll eventually remember like everything that happened. And after you wake up, it feels like, I mean, hypnotize you for like 15 minutes is what it feels like, but it's been like 45 minutes or
it was an hour and a half for me.
you feel like you had like a full night's of rest.
Well, like, don't they say about an hour of being hypnotized is like 4 hours of sleep or
Yep,
something?
that's what the guy told me. Yeah, so I slept great that night.
I wish
came
I could
to
sleep
work
right.
the next day, well rested, feeling great. And, like all of the adults were hungover.
I need to get hypnotized more often after work.
I just need to become a hypnotist and hypnotize myself.
It's not too difficult as long as you get it
Isaac
down.
know how to do it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He hypnotized me.
He
once.
hypnotized harder too, I believe. Anyway, yeah, it was really cool, and it's not like some people think it's like a little weird, forces wise. No, it's just like sleepwalking.
What if we all became hypnotists and just hypnotize each other before
Doesn't
every
work.
single show? Like I hypnotized you, and
It wouldn't work
Why not?
because it's not how it works.
You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna become a hypnotist.
You're gonna
and-
rewrite hypnotism?
Yes, and hypnotize both of you so we can have a more interesting show. Oh,
Or we could just become more interesting people.
Can I
Don't
hypnotize
dab
you
on
not to dab?
podcasts. Yeah.
Mimecast.
You're
Hold
a
up,
mime.
we got a bottle flip real fast.
All right, this is not, in fact,
Anyways,
2009.
No, oh my, Josh.
no, this is not 2014 Memecast. It's the Experimental Reality Podcast. So, did you have anything to contribute for how your week was, or
I
is
mean,
it-
I worked
You worked?
out, and then went to sleep, and then got up and went to work, and then worked out, and then went to sleep. I went to family reunion. Speaking of that, okay, so family reunion was near Sioux Falls, and we go to this Chinese restaurant. The day before, we went down a day before the family reunion, so we could like hang out with like relatives beforehand. And we go to this Chinese restaurant, and my dad, like, we finish our meal, and they bring over like fortune cookies. My dad opens it up and is like, "Look at this," and hands it to me, and it said something along the lines of a future family reunion will be a great success or something like that. And we're like, hold up. And then me and one of my friends went to Sioux Falls on just kind of a whim because I went down to Brookings to pick him up. And we go to the Chinese restaurant, and we're planning this big camping trip next week for the 4th of July. Me and a few of my friends, and we go there, and like we get our fortune cookies after our meal. And I open it up, and it's like, what did it say? It's like a future adventure.
will leave memories that will last a lifetime.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is a little bit too real here.
So, he sent me a picture of that fortune cookie. He's like, guess the camping trip's gonna go great. And I was like, well, not exactly. It didn't say good memories that will last a lifetime. Like, you'll just never forget the time that Jacob got bit by a rattlesnake and died right in front of you. It's possible. I'm just saying.
I don't think it's rattlesnake country, though. It's bear country, though.
I mean, look, you know the old saying, if you're being chased by a bear, you don't have to outrun the bear, you just have to outrun your friends.
Jacob. That's the way the saying goes.
Till Eric hits a tree.
Where are you guys going? Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to Steamboat
Wait, I thought he
Springs,
was only half
Colorado.
blind.
I mean, he's legally blind.
Oh, okay.
There's distinct possibility he'll hit a tree.
He can run, but
He can run, but he can't hide? Question mark? No, I guess if the bear
I don't
was
know.
blind.
But bears can smell.
True.
And bears beats Battlestar
Clearly, you can
Galactica.
smell. Stop.
'Cause-
Stop. The Office is a good show that I've watched like 3 episodes of.
How have you only watched 3 episodes?
So I got my wisdom teeth out, and I was sitting at home, and on my borrowed from Jacob Netflix account, I was like, I should watch something. I was miserable. Mine were really bad. So I was looking at like my borrowed Netflix account from Jacob. I was like, what am I gonna watch? I was like, oh, The Office. Everyone tells me I should watch that. It should be fun. So I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was just mentally like, I wasn't enjoying it at all. I was just miserable from how much my mouth hurt, and the fact that my mouth continuously fills with blood, and I just didn't enjoy it at all. And it's just I don't have a lot of time.
Why would
to
you
do
pair
stuff.
such a bad memory with such a good show?
I wanted to feel good. My mouth hurt.
Jim Halpert's my hero.
Jim Halpert is
Oh,
my
John
hero, too.
Krasinski though. Did you guys watch A Quiet Place?
Yes.
Yes.
So
That movie
good.
was.
So good.
Bro.
Oh my gosh.
Was it you that I got to go with
Yeah.
me? Yeah. Oh, we showed up and he's like I was like texting Luke about it like to go and he's like, isn't it a scary movie or like a thriller movie?
I
And
do
I'm
not like horror
And
movies.
I'm like, no, it's like an action-packed thriller. And
It's a horror movie.
It's straight up a horror movie. Although like I didn't think it was because like it was certain advertisements made it not seem like it was gonna be a horror movie. And we went in and I'm like, I turned to Luke right before the movie started. I'm like, okay, one rule since we're watching this, we cannot talk until the movie's over.
We like to talk during movies.
Yeah, like we talk about everything during movies.
Mostly snarky jokes
Yeah.
about the movie.
Say, especially in that movie, you
Yeah, no,
cannot.
we're
Because
like
that just ruins the atmosphere. Because it's not like a lot of scary movies just like jump out and scare you. This one's just, it's totally atmospheric.
Yeah.
It's just this complete sense of unease throughout the entire movie.
Dude, with a movie that plays off of no dialogue between its actors and very little like music that like builds up and has like spikes like most horror movies like with jump scares and stuff, they have like build up. The just sound editing and just the way that they did all the sound effects in it is amazing for that movie.
watching like behind the scenes and stuff, yeah.
It's crazy to think that guy's Jim from The Office, though. Like, okay, so I was watching this show called Chuck.
Yep.
And have you seen Chuck?
Yep.
I really like it.
I used
I'm watching it with
to
my
watch
family.
it all the time when it first came out.
Yeah. That guy, the Zachary Levi, the main character in that,
Isn't he like
Looks-
Shazam now or something?
he is. Well, I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, yeah.
He looks so much like
Yep.
John Krasinski. I was like, hey, it's Jim from The Office. And my dad's like, it's not. I was like, it's gotta be. We pulled up the credits.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like, no.
Yeah, no, they
What?
look so close.
It's crazy. He is Shazam now. I still haven't seen that. I should.
It's
okay.
alright.
The problem is it does not have a single tone. It jumps from like being like this funny comedy to being like almost like a straight up horror. Like that one like office
Yep.
scene where they're like clawing on the glass and
Yep.
stuff and like
Well,
Here's the thing.
It had probably the most meta and just by far like the best superhero scene ever was when Shazam and the villain were like having like the sky battle flying between each other, and they were like in the city, and Shazam was like way over here on like one side of the building, and then all the way across on the other side of like this wide like towering skyscraper was the bad guy, and the bad guy's going on this like long villainous rant, and then Shazam's just over there like, what? Can't hear you. You're too far away.
There
It
was-
was just like,
Yeah,
yes,
there was like a
thank you.
ton of hilarious moments. Like it would go from like this like great like scene that was just like hilarious, and then the next scene would be like, what is happening though?
So
Like
some
there's
serious
terrible
mood whiplash.
CGI. Yeah, terrible movie whiplash. There's some terrible CGI. Like I don't know. I thought the CGI a lot of
Okay.
scenes just did not hold up for a 2019 movie. It was 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
early
it
this
was
year.
it was in the works since like 2017.
But
wasn't
still the CGI should be a lot
it? Yeah,
better than
no.
it was.
I mean, Avatar, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Okay, I should say Shazam is one of my favorite superheroes, but only from like that's solely based upon like one single comic. It's called Kingdom Come. It's got some of the most beautiful art ever. It's like a lot of interesting religious parallels in it. It's really cool.
Okay.
And Shazam is like a really central character in there. That storyline alone made him one of my favorite superheroes. What about you guys? Favorite superheroes?
I was just to say, yeah. Speaking of comic books, okay. So what's our criteria for like superheroes though? Is it they have to be in a comic book or like what makes a superhero?
I would say
let's start with Marvel. Yeah, we'll start Marvel DC, and if we want to branch out from there, we can.
Well, I mean, Marvel also publishes like Star Wars and stuff. So
no,
does that make
no Star Wars.
Oh,
Star Wars is off limits.
No.
Because I've been reading Star Wars comics lately because I've been starting to collect those.
What you're like a weeaboo, but for Star Wars.
What?
You're like a weeaboo, but for Star Wars.
Hardcore anime nut,
Yeah.
but for Star Wars stuff.
Not like
A
that
Wookiee
hardcore.
boo.
Not that hardcore.
Have you seen my brother's room lately?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna go in there after the podcast and you can
I'm
see.
sure he'll be thrilled.
Oh lordy. Yeah.
Anyway.
So
Okay,
favorite
no
superhero.
Star Wars. We'll stick Marvel and DC for now. There's
Typical Marvel DC.
yeah,
Okay.
There's some other stuff we could branch out into if we want.
Best superhero, Squirrel Girl, by far.
I hate Squirrel Girl.
I'm just
The
kidding.
worst. No, she is so ridiculous. Because she beats like Galactus by being nice to him.
Yeah, she's just like,
It's like-
hey, you want to be friends? And Galactus is like, I'm lonely. Yes.
It's like what?
But I'd say my probably top two superheroes is probably Iron Man and Spider-Man.
You could throw villains in there as well, I guess. But
Well, they're not favorite superheroes. They're not superheroes. They're super
favorite
villains.
super people.
Super people. Well,
They
then
don't even
that
have to have
goes a whole
superpowers.
other like.
Iron Man
thing.
doesn't have superpowers.
Well, yeah.
Okay, but we'll count it. We'll count super characters.
See, I love Robert Downey Jr. So I mean,
I do too.
Like, can we just
He's
be-
so
much.
good.
Like-
He's perfect because he actually had like the alcoholism and all those other problems that Iron Man goes through. So his performance is just immaculate.
He's
just
just
so
a
good.
really good actor. Like his what was it 2 Sherlock Holmes movies or was it
Yeah,
3? The
2,
two
I
they were
think.
really good. I thought they were really good. Like I really liked them, but I guess I just like that style. Robert Downey Jr.'s a great actor, 100%.
I do really like Doctor Strange though. I'm a Benedict Cumberbatch fan too.
Okay.
He's a pretty good.
Now
Every time I
we're
see
talking
him-
movies right
Yeah.
now. Okay.
I was
Yeah.
talking about Doctor Strange. Yeah,
Doctor Strange is a good movie.
I liked
Comics
it.
Doctor Strange is a little
weird.
aloof. He's a little aloof. He's a little like, you mortals don't understand the magnitude of our problems. And it's like, dude, just calm down.
Well, his comics are just weird too,
Yeah, no,
which I
they
mean
are.
makes sense because he deals with weird stuff.
Yeah, magic and...
But like there was one comic that I watched. There's a YouTube channel that I watch every now and then. Like I think they're called Comic Storian. They essentially like read out the comics, somewhat cinematically. And there was one that I was watching where it was a Doctor Strange story about like how he was like walking down the street or whatever, and he like saw a woman and like got like the sense that she was like being like pestered by demons or something like that, and essentially like the general like theme of it was like he ended up like going up to her and was like, hey, let me help you, and then just takes the demons in because he has like other monstrous entities already inside of him that would just eat these demons.
That's wild.
It's just like the artwork was really cool, but like just the story concept is just it's bizarre. It's really weird.
I was never a huge fan of like the cosmic power. Like the higher power level you get, the less interested I am. I don't care about like the Eternals or the
The
cosmic watcher entity. Like I like the street level stuff.
because it's more relatable. Like you
Yeah.
could like
friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Like-
you get to like Superman power level, and I'm already like checking out a little bit.
even though like Iron Man, like yeah, he's kind of unrealistic because he's like super smart and everything, but you can still like empathize with him because he's still like human, and he
still
went
has
through
the human problems.
and yeah, he went through a lot of like those like I've never struggled with alcoholism. I mean.
No, he kind of did.
Last
We went over this
podcast
last
was-
Yeah,
podcast.
well, on this last podcast.
Wanna hear about Josh?
If you want to hear about my childhood alcoholism, go listen to the last podcast. But I mean, like, I can still relate to him and like some of those struggles. Like, you know, like his struggles with like depression and like that
Getting
sort of
attacked
stuff.
by a giant guy with the electricity whips.
Yep.
We've all gone through that.
Yeah,
Like,
that happened.
Being distant from people, having people become more distant from you, yeah.
Having
like,
your heart replaced by a robotic entity.
yeah.
Everyone can relate to that sort of
Electromagnet,
stuff. Yeah.
I like how this was like half serious, and then there's Luke.
Well, I mean, that's just like the Eternals is getting a movie.
Yeah,
in the
and
next
I don't
couple of years,
care.
and like I heard that name thrown out, I'm like me personally, I've never heard of it. I'm like, I watched a video on it. I'm like, this just doesn't intrigue me.
Right. Like, I just don't care.
It's like Captain Marvel was like, I mean, it was an okay movie, but like they brought her in as like being so powerful. It's like you really can't go very much for this character.
I can't relate to Captain Marvel. I'm sorry. Like she's just so like stale and cold, and like I just like she's
Even in the comics, she's like that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's the worst in the comics. Civil War.
Civil War 2?
Civil War 2? Oh, I hate
Movie version?
Civil War 2 is the one with like an objectively wrong side.
Yeah.
Civil War 1, the first time I read through it, I was Team Iron Man because I liked Iron Man better. This is the
Yeah.
comics version, not the movie.
Yep.
And if you don't know what happens, essentially, this team of irresponsible teenage superheroes who like live stream their fights and everything, chase down this group of villains who were just kind of minding their own business or they weren't, I mean, they're still villains, but they chase down this group of villains on their own initiative without direction from anyone, and they get in a pursuit of them, and they chase them down, and the villain's power is exploding, and he self-destructs by like an open gas main next to an elementary school, which kills, all of the children, plus most of the superheroes on that team, the teenage superheroes. And so Tony Stark and his team insist on superheroes getting registered, name, birthplace, like real name, everything, registered with the government, and you can only go on missions that the government tells you to, etc., etc. I liked Team Iron Man better the first time I read through the comics because I liked Iron Man better. So I read through the comics and I was like, yeah, Team Iron Man all the way. And then I read through it again and I realized I agree more now with Team Captain America.
I mean, they both have their own points, so it's not like there's
right.
like one side that's like obviously wrong though. It's like I think they both have solid points. It's like
Right. Well,
Wasn't Civil War based off, or Civil War 2, isn't it something about like the Hulk being like sent off of Earth or something like that?
so no, that is World War Hulk.
That's World War Hulk.
So,
Okay.
the Civil War 2 is based upon the fact that there's a mutant who's got the ability to see the future. Potential futures. And Captain Marvel wants to go end these threats before they can even come to bear. Like, act proactively on it. Like, if this guy sees that Josh is going to shoot someone, then they come and take Josh away first. Despite the fact that Josh hasn't committed the crime.
it's like that like whole question of do you go back and kill baby Hitler or something?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Except you don't know for sure.
It's like Doctor Strange and the Marvel Cinematic Universe peering into a bunch of the futures and being like,
Right.
well, this happened in one of them, so
Right.
we're gonna eliminate that.
And his
threat real
flashes his flashes are non-specific, and they're not like well thought out because Doctor Strange can at least like
Yep, he
look
can-
down the
yeah.
path. This guy like looks to the end of the path, right? All he sees is Hulk killing people, or all he sees is Miles Morales, Spider-Man killing Captain America is one of them. Well, it turns out, I believe he ends up doing it in the end because Captain America is like a Nazi at that point.
Yeah, it was like
Hydra.
That was the Hydra Captain America, which
We don't have time to go into all the
yeah,
reasons
that's a whole nother thing.
for that. The sentient cosmic cube.
And that goes back to Endgame where he's in the elevator. Spoiler if you haven't seen
Yeah.
it. Hail
That
Hydra.
is a direct callback to that, which
Yeah.
I was very happy
I
about.
was really happy.
I wasn't happy about the original decision, but anyway.
Yeah.
Long story short, Captain Marvel is the worst in the comics, and she's not good in the movies either.
Captain
And I feel
Marvel
like her
is
introduction in the
overrated.
movies.
Yes,
I feel like her
absolutely.
introduction in the movies was botched too because I kind of shoehorned her in there at the end. I felt like they should have probably just waited until after Endgame and introduced her and like start off Phase 4
That's
with
fair.
her. I felt like that would have done better for her character.
But I like heroes like Spider-Man. I always loved because he's not fighting world-ending threats, right? He's Spider-Man. He can't.
He's your friendly
that.
neighborhood
Well, I
Spider-Man.
mean, he had has.
He has, but mostly in conjunction with other guys.
What was it? Cosmic Spider-Man or what?
We don't talk about Captain Universe Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But
His suit looks so dumb.
it does.
Oh man.
Taskmaster is one of my favorite Marvel villains. He doesn't have any powers. He's like Neo from The Matrix, where, they download the moves into his head or whatever. He can just copy people's fighting styles and counteract them.
And now for soccer talk. And this has been
Yeah, I got nothing.
soccer talk.
I got nothing this week.
And now I just ruined your train of thought for superheroes.
I hate you. That's okay. I was talking too much.
Something
anyway.
about Taskmaster. Which
Taskmaster's cool.
He's cool.
He wears a skull mask. He's
So-
rad.
Besides, like, are there any non-mainstream superheroes that, like, you really like that aren't Star Wars related?
Super
I'll go
villains?
last.
Super villains, yeah.
I like Iron Nail. He's like the anti-Captain America. Luke knows why.
Yeah,
but
I do.
he's also super dope.
Have you read the comics and like?
No.
Okay.
But he looks super dope.
He does look cool.
He's like he's like, so Captain America is like capitalism and like freedom and stuff. He's like communism basically. So he has like 2 red dragons bursting from his chest, and he like broke like Captain America's shield and whatever. And he's also like,
Ironically, he takes other people's powers from himself, much like communism.
yeah. Anyways, he looks super dope. So
That's why
Wow,
you like
that's
him.
why I like
Nice.
him.
Congratulations, your favorite C-list villain. Do you want to
Nice.
add anything?
I don't really know very many like non-mainstream villains or heroes because I'm not a huge comic nut like you.
I am. I could go on for hours about non-mainstream characters I like. Yeah, I won't. There's one cool one called Exo Manowar, who is not from Marvel or DC. He's from Vertigo Comics. And he's like a Visigoth warrior. Like William Wallace type guy. Who gets kidnapped, transported into the future, and he gets like this Blue Beetle-like sentient armor from aliens. It's wild, and it's cool. I don't know.
I forgot about Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Booster
just
Gold
kinda-
is better, though.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on from comics.
to just like
Let's talk about something that's real for a bit.
Being an adult.
Being an adult, too real. Yeah, we are all legal adults, and I guess
I'm a little bit more adult. than
legally
both of
an
you.
adult.
Yeah.
Realistically,
I'm like 12.
You
Yeah.
look 12 too. Especially with your pencil arms.
Darn. So I guess the question I have for you guys is, when you were a kid, you had expectations of what being an adult would be like, right? And, now that you are sort of mostly an adult, what's different between what you expected and the reality?
It's expensive.
It's very expensive.
yeah. I don't know, because I'm looking at buying a house probably in the next year, and
Dang.
Dang, son.
Well, I was gonna buy it this summer, but then I was like, I'm still in school, so let's wait until after school. So, and that gives me a little
Where are
bit
you
more time to
looking
save
at
up.
for a house? Just in town here?
In town here because I have a job here. So,
Yeah.
I'll be, and it's just looking at houses and being like, I'm gonna have to take on all that debt because I'm basically saving up for a down payment at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's no way you can...
Buy a house, just yeah.
Well, you
with
can
cash,
if you put all of your money aside.
I mean, I suppose I could probably afford a trailer, just pay that in cash, but that would be about it. I would never be able to buy an actual house, so that's
You're
expensive.
going to be 20 years old with a mortgage. How does
20
that
years
feel?
old with a mortgage. I was going to be 19 with a mortgage.
That's
so.
a good point.
I mean, Carter's looking at buying a house.
Is he?
Yeah.
In town?
And I figure, you can always.
This could be roommates.
Yeah.
They can get along. Anyway.
Because I'm living with my parents right now, so that's not as expensive, I guess. That helps a lot. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, like, depending on whether or not your parents make you pay rent or just you have to help out around the house or whatever, it's definitely a lot cheaper than having a place on your own.
Right. Yeah, I don't...
Luke is living at home right now.
I'm
during
living
the
at
summer.
home. Right. I
But-
don't have to pay rent.
But during the school year, you go live on.
During the school year, I live on campus. It's 6 hours away, so I can't.
You don't want to make
Be
the drive?
a heck of a commute. See, I got my first class at 9 a.m., so I could leave at 3. And then...
Give it a little bit more extra time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I better leave at 2:30.
Yeah.
2:30. Get to class at 9. I have class. My last class of the day ends at 4. So I'd be getting home
You could be home by
around
10.
11. So, 3.5 hours of sleep?
And no time for study.
No,
so-
no.
Yeah, just study on the
Well,
road.
what you could
just
do,
plaster your
audiobook.
textbook to the window.
What
Who
you
cares
could
about
do
driving safe?
is just commute every week and just stay with your friends down there. So like you come back on the
I
weekend.
mean, that would work.
You just
but-
wouldn't have like a place of your own throughout the week.
I wouldn't. This is not something I would want to do.
Or just get your whole family to move out with you.
Jared.
Jared. I miss him though.
He's
He's so far
the best.
away.
I know. Yeah, but I do like my roommates a lot. I don't know about the new guy. We're getting a new guy in our room this year.
I like how your parents
So
told
we'll
you
see.
like when you first started college, they're like, don't move in with your friends. It's a terrible
I
decision.
mean, my friends are highly irresponsible. There are downsides to it too, but
But not as much as like rooming with a random person.
living with Henry, who I hate, I don't hate him. He was just not a good roommate to have. I like him more now that we're not roommates. Anyway,
That's usually how it goes.
yeah, I switched rooms in the middle of the year between semesters, and I like my new living arrangements a lot more.
It helped with your mental health too, didn't it?
Yeah.
As in going from completely mentally unstable to just a little mentally unstable.
Just slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. We're getting a new roommate this next year, and apparently he doesn't talk much, like, to his current roommates, which is going to be really unfortunate for him because the other three of us talk a lot.
And some of you rage a lot at video games.
You realize he's not in the
Oh
room
wait,
next
he
year.
won't.
Yeah.
I
I'm really
keep forgetting
chill. I don't
about
get
that.
angry.
I need to come out and visit you.
Absolutely.
I didn't do that last
I'm
year.
gonna be coming out and visiting you at some point this next year.
Sweet.
Hey, yeah, you should let me know. We can carpool then.
Yeah,
Sounds
that'll
crowded.
be fun. I have a big car.
I mean, in my car's
Oh,
pretty
if we're
good size.
For
staying in your
sleeping.
dorm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
I stayed on a chair. That was so uncomfortable.
I have a better chair
It's
this
so
year.
cold.
We have a better chair.
I mean,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, everything is very, very expensive. Like, remember when $100 was like all the money in the world?
Oh yeah, like you get.
could buy a DS.
man,
Ooh,
like,
boy.
oh.
I wonder where my DS is.
I know mine's. I think over. I know mine's somewhere. I think mine's over in my closet.
Yeah, I know where mine is. It's on a shelf. in my
Speaking of
room.
not knowing where things is, your Game Boy.
Yeah, Luke lost my Game Boy.
I did.
Where is my game? Now I'm curious.
I have a Game Boy Advance somewhere. We're talking Game Boy Original for John.
I had
Oh.
the original Game Boy with
Pokemon Gold.
With Pokemon Gold. I gave it to Luke and he lost it.
Yeah. My
Although-
mom took it away because I was playing at night. Probably shouldn't have been doing that.
How do you play that at night though? Because like the screen
The
is
screen's
like
off.
Carefully.
carefully. Did you have like the light on or
Not
what?
carefully enough.
Did you have like a flashlight? Were you just like playing there with one hand with a flashlight in the
I
other
can't
hand?
remember. It was like something. There was some kind of light on.
Some really jank setup so you
It
could
was,
play the
your
original
Game Boy when it wouldn't save.
Yeah, but no, because that's not the Game Boy's fault. That's the cartridge's fault.
Okay.
Because those old ones, they have little batteries in them. And once those batteries run out, they don't save because
Gotcha.
they have.
So the game wouldn't
Volatile
save,
memory.
so it just sat on all day.
I love the original Game Boys. They actually sold like an extra thing that was like a book light for your
Yeah.
Game Boy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like plugged in like that.
Just think of like how much we've got now compared to back then.
I have a mini fridge.
I mean, me too.
We
And
were
a
just talking
two
about
monitor
how we
desktop.
all
Okay.
we all have bone conduction headphones too.
Yeah, we all have
Yeah.
the same brand of bone conduction headphones.
Cheyenne was the last one to jump on that bandwagon.
they're
I went
really
to I went to
nice.
Shields in Sioux Falls, and they had them on to try, and I put them on. Like me and my mom were there. I put them on, and I pressed the play button. And I immediately turned to my mom, and I'm just like, "Hold up,
Yeah,
this is cool."
they're so cool, and you can still have like a conversation while wearing them.
Yeah, no, it's.
I wear mine all the time.
crazy.
now.
Yep. My mom's like, "Can you take yours off at the dinner table?" I was like, "Oh, I'm still wearing them."
Yeah,
Sure.
no, that's my. I got them when we were going down for the family reunion, and we were talking with family or whatever, and I had them on. I was listening to music, and my mom's like, we were going to supper, and she's like, "Can you not wear those at supper?" And I'm like, "But I can still hold a conversation." Like I was doing it earlier, and she's like, "Please," and I'm like, "Fine."
Seriously,
I wear mine around my neck when they're not on.
When
I'll
you-
forget them.
when human augmentation becomes a thing, one of the first things I'm gonna do is get augmented bone conduction into the side of my head. Although, how are you gonna charge that? That's my only
You're gonna go to sleep at night instead of plugging in your phone. You're just gonna plug
Plug
it
in
straight
my
into your
head.
head.
Well,
What happens if you get a power surge, fry
Some
my
of them
head?
die.
Yeah.
a guy I know has these like magnetic hearing aid things that he can just basically like clip to the side of his head here. He was born without ears or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he has to like charge his ears at night.
Nice.
I'm wondering, like, could you just have little like holes in your head and you just pull them out and then plug them in and then every morning you like put them back in?
That sounds like a recipe for infection.
Now you're just making me think of Doctor Who.
Or Cyberpunk 2077.
Or Cyberpunk. Mainly Doctor Who, just because of the way you described it. There's back in the first season, there's they go to like satellite whatever, and there's like this whole thing about like they get the like information instead of having like computers and internet and stuff. They actually have devices that like shoot the information straight into your brain, and you have to get like a augmentation to be able to like it's like doors that like open up to your brain, and then the information gets like spewed into it.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Beamed into your brain.
What else about being an adult besides it's very expensive? You don't have as much free time as you think you do.
But at the same time, you kind of do.
Yeah. No, it's
weird.
Time is weird when you're an adult.
Because, like, you have priorities, and you're like, oh, I don't have time for this thing, but then you're like, wait, I'm doing, like, I scheduled my week to have, like, these 2 things that I really don't have to do, but they're in my schedule. So I technically have free time, but...
Yeah. Instead of your parents or whoever just setting schedules for stuff you have to do, it's just you have to do it for yourself.
That and your schedules just become sporadic.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, oh, I guess I'll do this real quick. Like, you'll just... spontaneously go to Sioux Falls for some reason.
Last Saturday, so when he was at his family reunion, I was texting him because on Saturday morning, my family was all gone. Like, everyone was busy. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I like put on like a Twitch stream or something, and I was playing a video game, and I was like, I am so bored. I need to get out of the house today and not just sit here all day. So I, like, impulse bought tickets to a pro wrestling show in Sioux Falls. And I was like, hey, Cheyenne, you're in the neighborhood. Want to come? He's like, no.
I wasn't like, no. I was like, I would, but, like, some of these family members, I don't know how long I'll, like, they'll still be around, so.
Which I understand.
Yeah.
Would have been, it was a
I
fun
wanted
show,
to go, but.
Yeah, you asked me too, and I was like, dude, that's like in a couple hours. I was like,
yeah, so you got to decide now.
It's like, let's go.
I can be impulsive just doing stuff because I don't like to stagnate. But yeah, it was fun. But so you can do that sort of thing as an adult, and then
it's like that meme that's like that moment when you realize that like I can just wake up at 4:00 in the morning and drive to the store and buy myself a cake when I want one or whatever the meme is. Like,
and then being an adult is knowing you can do that and then not doing that.
Yeah.
Oh man, like
I thought as a kid I could buy so much stuff when I got older, and then I realized like now like there's so many things that can be like, yeah, I technically can buy that. Like, yeah, sure, I can shell out a couple $1,000s for like a VR headset and like set up everything
and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I have the money, but I have other priorities for that money. Yeah.
Just like, being alive is expensive. Food, shelter.
I could afford these 3 games. I've never been able to buy 3 games at once, but I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
That's never stopped me.
I mean, yeah, but you're weird.
I am.
Do you guys get the sensation like, okay, so you work all week, and then you say your family has plans or something, so you're busy over the weekend. You've got stuff going on, and then there's like the weekends where you're done with work or whatever, or like you have a day off or whatever, and you don't have any plans, and you're like, wow, I can just sit back and relax, and I don't have any priority. I'm bored.
Yep. That is exactly last Saturday.
Wait,
I don't have anything to do.
You guys have those days? I never get those days.
Cool.
I always seem to have stuff going on. It's just like, usually if I get like 5 minutes, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, what am I forgetting to do right now? That's basically my life.
See, I
get like an anxiety
attack. I'll look at a Saturday and be like, oh, I'm not doing anything that day. Why not? What should I do? I should do something.
Yeah, like,
I'm like an active relaxer, right? I get more relaxed going and getting coffee with a friend and talking for 3 hours, and then
just
going and recording 2 hours of a podcast, and then going out in the lake, then just like sitting and watching TV or Netflix and playing video games. Like,
yeah,
I used to be able to sit and watch TV for hours, and now like I have to be doing something else. Like I'm big multitasker. Sometimes I fail at it. At episode 1, but like
Go big or go home.
I almost always either have a YouTube video going while I'm playing games or doing literally anything. Mm-hmm. That's why I like, especially the bone conduction headphones, is like I can listen to music and do
so
everything all at the same time.
I use them to listen to podcasts. The problem is if you lose track, music you can passively listen to, and if you miss a song, you're like, whatever. If you're listening to a podcast and you come back and like halfway through the narrator telling a story, you're like, hold up, I gotta go back.
Yep. Well, that and the fact if you're talking to people and then you have somebody else talking into your head.
No one really talks to me at work, so that sounds sad. But mostly on work, I'm just managing this database. It's like half of what I do, so it's just like I can sit and listen to podcasts and do this at the same time. No big deal.
Speaking of busy schedules, you guys doing anything this next week for 4th of July?
Yeah, that's why we're recording 2 episodes in one.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way.
Surprise.
We're
this
recording.
is episode 1 of 2 for today's recording session.
We can never just record 1 episode on a weekend. We have to record 2.
We've done it
Once.
twice now.
No, the very first time
we've had 3 recording sessions.
for
2 of
5
which,
episodes.
2 of
yes.
which are doubles.
True.
But you know what? It
Anyways.
happens.
For the 4th of July, I'm going with some friends on a camping trip to Colorado to Steamboat Springs to enjoy some hot springs and maybe fireworks shows. I don't. We have to look into seeing if they're actually doing any fireworks shows out there. But that'll be fun. I wanted to get Luke to come with, but he's got other plans.
I do. We are going to Twin Cities, be watching Twins game, Major League Baseball, which I have not been to since I was like 3, which I don't remember that game, so this will be like the biggest sports event I've ever been to. And the Twins don't suck this year.
Yeah,
They're actually doing really
they're
well.
doing pretty well.
Which is, being a Minnesota sports fan, you're like looking at them like, all right, when's the collapse coming? We're all waiting for it. Because they always, like, inevitably do.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the Twins have been going on, like, 1 year they're good, and the next year they suck, and then the next year they're good again, so.
Nah, they're usually just every year they're bad.
They won the World Series
I would say
in 1991.
They seem to have ups and downs, like, every other year.
There's been, I believe Minnesota, out of
I guess I don't follow baseball that
out of all the cities that have all 4 of the major sports franchises, it's hockey, baseball, basketball, football. Minneapolis is the one that has waited the longest since their last championship.
What about soccer?
I mean, they do have a soccer team, but soccer isn't considered one of the big 4 sports.
Oh, that's true.
It should.
In America.
I would love to go to a Minnesota United game, but I just haven't. But yeah, we're going to a Twins game. They might actually win because they don't suck this year. It's like the last one before the All-Star break, and it'll be fun. We'll spend some time with family. My dad's brothers live out there, so it'll be fun to spend some time with them. Explore the cities. We don't get out there much, so
It's a really cool area.
for sure. It's actually closer than where I go to college, which is kind of weird. That
Yeah.
we go there like half as often.
I keep forgetting Minnesota's like as close as it is. Like it's like what, like a 40-minute drive away?
Yeah, 40 minutes to get to the border.
Yeah.
Like 4 hours to the city is like, that's nothing once you get used to long driving. That's another thing about being an adult. You get used to long drives.
Yeah.
I hate
As
driving.
a kid, it's like, it's 45 minutes to there. Like, that sucks.
It's like commuting from Watertown to Brookings for school this past semester. Like, I used to hate driving to Sioux Falls was like a road trip for me. And now it's like, I mean, yesterday I went down to Brookings after work, picked up my friend Eric, and then we're like, you want to get Chinese? And then I'm like, well, we're halfway to Sioux Falls, and so we went to Sioux Falls. So I mean, long drives are like nothing now.
People in Europe and the East Coast are like, what?
Yeah, I know.
You just drove an hour and a half for Chinese? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't understand the Midwest.
It's weird when you hear about like the driving in Europe and everything because it's not as far at all.
Midwest moms be like, 6 hours, we can drive. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm doing for the 4th of July. We will be out of town, out of sight, out of mind. I don't know. I have
It'll
Thursday.
still be in my mind.
I'll actually be here on the 4th of July. Like we leave the 5th.
Really?
But
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the 4th is Thursday.
it's Thursday. I took Friday off work.
No, the 4th is Wednesday.
No, the 4th,
No, 4th is Thursday.
Wait, really?
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it too.
Oh, it is Thursday.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right. The 3rd. I'm thinking the 3rd is the 3rd of July is when my NASA thing ends. And so I will be everything
Stressed.
has just been after camp now. It's been like, all right, NASA, and it's just like So I have no plans for the 4th other than I gotta get my NASA done by Wednesday on the 3rd.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm working Monday through Wednesday, and then I requested Friday through Monday off of work. And so right after I get off work technically Thursday morning at like 1:30 in the morning, I'm gonna go pick everyone up.
You might want to have someone else drive that first segment.
No, I should be good for at least 2 hours, because I'm usually awake for like 2 to 3 hours after I get off work.
Snag some caffeine, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab an energy drink right away.
Just because I'd be a little annoyed if all 4 of you die in a horrible car accident.
Well, and see, one thing that I didn't learn until recently is Carter apparently can't sleep in cars, which I wasn't aware of, and now I feel really bad about, because I guess
what would that change?
Well, what we are gonna do is do rotations. So like, since we're leaving right away in the morning, I'll be able to drive like a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours, and then swap with someone that's napped up until then, and then eventually swap back to me. Boom, 13 hours down the road, we're there.
How much driving is that?
13 hours and 45 minutes. So we should get there around 3 because we lose an hour.
Yeah, and you'll have to stop to go to the bathroom and whatever. But
I think our check-in's also around 3 too.
Okay.
The camp.
What time are you leaving in the morning?
2 a.m.
Wow. All right.
Right after I get off work for 10 hours. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day.
I feel like if you have something to look forward to, though, work seems to go faster, at least for me.
See?
Yeah.
Like on Friday, I'm always just like, come on, let's go faster.
See, for me, whenever I'm like expecting something, everything just goes slow.
Oh.
Like, I know for a fact, it's only 3 days, but I know for a fact this week at work's gonna drag.
Yeah, this week at work will drag for me too. It'll be like,
is it Thursday yet? Shout out to Critical Role. I used your motto.
I took off of
I haven't seen
work
that.
all week because NASA up until Wednesday, and then after that I have Thursday and Friday off. So
you did take off work all week.
Yeah,
So you can't eat lunch with me this week.
I did tell you that.
Yeah, you did tell me that, and then earlier in the podcast you said that you were going to be there.
No, I didn't.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay, we're slowly losing our minds here.
Yeah,
on this
we are
podcast.
definitely going crazy.
Welcome back.
Okay.
So speaking of losing our minds,
Lunch. You seen the Grinch? The like the live action one.
Yeah.
Lunch with myself. Can't skip that again.
Speaking of like losing our minds or losing our heads, any fun stories from past 4th of July?
Oh, Cheyenne knows the story.
So should I
You want to tell it or why?
I can tell it because you
All right.
guys have been talking for a while.
Yeah.
So this was what? How long ago? We were probably what? Third?
I'd say 20.
4th grade?
It was at my old house,
Is that your old house? Yeah.
which we
Oh, that was a while
moved
ago.
into 7 years ago. So we're talking like 2010, 2011.
So yeah. Probably what, like, yeah, 3rd, 4th grade probably.
Yeah.
We were Luke and I were shooting fireworks. Our family was shooting fireworks off together. And we had these little tiny rockets. I just remember them going haywire. Like none of them flew up straight. They were all just like, we're gonna go into the trees and start like a tree fire or something. I don't know why we kept.
Your dad bought them, right?
My dad, yeah, he bought like
They're
5
like
of them.
super cheap.
Buy them from the
They were
dollar
like,
store?
no,
What?
yeah, they were like 50 cents a rocket. They're just
From like a sketchy.
Well, no, they were from like Lou's Fireworks or something.
No, they weren't from a big place. I remember because your mom got mad at him for buying rockets from a cheap place.
Well, no, she got mad for buying cheap rockets. I think.
Oh, okay.
We usually just buy from like Lou's Fireworks or whatever, just up the road from us.
Okay.
But or Big Shots or whatever. Those two that are up
I don't
there.
think Big Shots was around then.
No.
Oh, okay, so then Lou's, it would have been
Okay.
those. And they were like 50 cents or $1 rockets or whatever.
Super cheap.
Pretty cheap rockets, yeah. They might have actually been 35 cents.
They
now
were
that I'm thinking
flimsy
of it.
too.
Yeah, they were flimsy. They were like probably about 2 inches tall. Just the tiniest little things.
No, they were like 3 inches
3
tall.
inches.
They were like this big.
But they had a pretty good pop to them too. Like they would fly up and they would do all sorts of weird things. You go into someone's car and blow up or something.
In retrospect, we should have seen this coming.
Anyway, so I was getting my I was getting my lemonade or whatever we had over
Yeah,
there.
we went
and
went back into the house.
We were
headed
garage.
back in the house.
We were in the garage.
Right.
And we were getting some like lemon. So okay, the garage driveway. We were shooting off on the driveway, and we were getting our lemonade. And my dad like lights one, and I turn around, and all of a sudden this like rocket, it goes up probably about 3 feet maybe.
No, it was right at head level. So 5 feet.
Well, we would have been short at the time, so like 3-4 feet, and then all of a sudden it just takes
How
like.
short were you in 3rd grade?
I was
know.
short.
It takes just a right turn though. It's just
it's right at head level, coming straight at both of us.
So yeah, it went up like 3-4 feet or whatever. Took just a wicked right turn and just started like flying ass. I don't know what happened, but I just hit the floor and Luke did like too. And
I hit the floor too.
And like 2 seconds later, we hear this thing hit the back of his garage and just blow up.
It just exploded. We couldn't even find any of the debris from it.
It just went over our heads and blew up. There was probably like a black spot in the back of your garage, wasn't there?
Yeah, it burned the back of our garage. So that's the time me and Josh almost got killed by a wayward cheap rocket.
I think you would have been killed, mainly maimed.
I just say my face would be messed up, probably, or at least
more than
hurt.
usual.
More than usual. Rip.
Yeah. Well, I worked at a church camp. I'll tell the story quick so we can wrap it up. But I worked at a church camp. Not last summer, but the summer before. Best job of my life. I would be there right now if I could afford to do that and college. But they don't pay very well at a church camp. Still, super rewarding job. And they go all out for the 4th of July. They have a family camp, so there's campsites there, like actual campsites in the cabins, and they rent the whole place out and have like a family camp with church services and stuff. They go all out for the 4th of July. I'm talking like professional installation, bigger than our cities. Like
bigger than the one that they have out of... Really?
Yep. It was incredible. Over the lake. And one of the things they have is these napalm fireballs. I'm talking like, basically just like a barrel, like the size of a garbage can. They put it down there, and just in the middle of the show, we're sitting hundreds of feet away. And it just goes boom, and like a fireball down there.
Yep.
And you can feel the heat on your face from hundreds of feet away. It's incredible. I actually have a really cool picture of one of them. We'll see if we can get that up on the Twitter soon.
You never send me pictures for this.
I keep saying I will. You got to remind me.
Speaking of Twitter, our Twitter is at experimentalre1. And as long as we're on this topic, follow us, retweet stuff, like our posts or whatever, comment. I love comments because I can respond to them.
Send us stuff for the mailbag if you want mailbag questions.
Give us reviews on iTunes and wherever else there are reviews.
Comments on iTunes. Like I read all these guys, so I really like engaging with you guys. So
Jason, if you could stop sending in creepy letters, that'd be great.
Yeah, and showing up at our house. Oh, by the way, Jason, once again, thank you. Another shout out to the great intro and outro.
The great music.
I still love you.
Well,
even though you don't love me, 'tis an unrequited love.
The way that you said that just makes me think of the Homer Simpson meme. Like, you like saying that as you fade into the bush, then quick pop out, say it again, and then fade out.
Well, with all that in mind, thank you for listening to Experimental Reality. We'll be back next week with more experimental content. Experimental Reality is executive produced by me, Luke. Our multimedia coordinator is Chayan. General manager is Josh. Music provided by our good friend and secret lover, Jason. You can find us at... Not my secret lover, just Josh's.
Okay.
Just my not so secret lover.
Only in your dreams.
Quite obvious lover. Anyway,
only in your dreams.
Only in my dreams.
I wonder if he ever gets uncomfortable from that.
All the interests.
I feel like
Jason.
he probably does. I've never met Jason, but...
No, you haven't.
But from the little I've interacted with him, it feels like he's uncomfortable. So I'm sorry, Jason.
We're sorry, Jason. You can find us at Experimental Reality on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play Music, and Podbean. If you liked it, tell a friend. If you didn't like it, tell an enemy.
So
if you wanted to get
too.
so they can suffer along with you. If you want to get in touch with us, email us. Don't experiment with us. Email us at experimentalrealitypodcast, no spaces, @gmail.com, or connect with us on Twitter at experimentalre1. Thank you once again for spending time with us. We hope to hear from you soon, and we'll catch you next week in this Experimental Reality.